In the ever-evolving world of smartphones, innovation never really stops. Every year, we see companies experimenting with new designs, new technologies, and bold ideas that try to reshape how we use our devices. One of the most interesting areas of experimentation in recent years has been foldable and rollable displays. While foldable phones have already made their way into the market, rollable smartphones are still more of a dream than a reality. Now, a new patent from Vivo has caught attention, and it presents a very different take on what a rollable smartphone could be. Up until now, most rollable phone concepts we've seen follow a similar idea. The display expands horizontally, meaning the phone becomes wider when you roll it out. This makes sense because it transforms a regular smartphone into something closer to a tablet, giving users more screen space for multitasking, watching videos, or gaming. But Vivo seems to be thinking differently. Instead of expanding sideways, Vivo's patented design shows a smartphone that grows vertically. In simple terms, when you roll out the display, the phone becomes taller, not wider. This is a completely new direction compared to what other companies have explored so far. At first glance, it definitely feels unique and refreshing. A vertically expanding screen is something we haven't really seen before, and it immediately raises curiosity. How would it work? What would it feel like to use? And most importantly, why would someone actually need it? The design itself, based on the patent images, suggests that the phone would have a flexible display stored inside its body. When needed, the screen could extend upward, increasing the height of the device. When not in use, it would retract back into a more compact form. It sounds futuristic. And it is. But it also raises a lot of questions. One of the biggest questions is about usability. Modern smartphones are already quite tall. In fact, over the years, screens have gradually become longer to accommodate more content. Today's apps are designed with these tall aspect ratios in mind. Social media feeds, messaging apps, web browsing, all of them already take advantage of vertical space. So if phones are already optimized for tall screens, what happens when you make them even taller? Would it actually improve the user experience, or would it just make the phone harder to handle? Imagine scrolling through social media on an even taller screen. Sure, you might see more content at once, but would it feel comfortable? Would it be easy to reach the top of the display with one hand? These are practical concerns that could affect how useful this design really is. Another interesting point to consider is how apps would adapt. Developers have spent years optimizing apps for current screen sizes and aspect ratios. A significantly taller display might require new adjustments, and not all apps may support it properly at first. Then there's the question of durability. Rollable displays are already complex, and making a mechanism that extends vertically could introduce new engineering challenges. The internal components would need to be carefully designed to ensure smooth operation, long-term reliability, and resistance to wear and tear. Of course, it's important to remember one key thing. This is just a patent. And in the tech world, patents don't always turn into real products. Smartphone companies file hundreds of patents every year. These patents are often used to protect ideas, explore possibilities, or stay ahead of competitors. Many of these ideas never make it beyond paper. Some never even reach the prototype stage. So while this vertical rollable concept is definitely interesting, there's no guarantee we'll ever see it in a real device. Still, patents like this are valuable because they give us a glimpse into how companies are thinking about the future. They show us that brands like Vivo are not just following trends. They're also trying to create new ones. Even if this exact design never becomes a product, parts of the idea could influence future devices. Maybe we'll see hybrid designs or new ways of using flexible displays that combine both vertical and horizontal expansion. Innovation often comes from experimenting with unusual concepts like this. And who knows? What seems impractical today might become useful tomorrow. Think about foldable phones. When they were first introduced, many people questioned their purpose. They were expensive, fragile, and not fully optimized. But over time, they improved. Now, foldables are becoming more refined, more durable, and more widely accepted. The same could eventually happen with rollable devices. A vertically expanding phone might not seem necessary right now, but with the right software features, it could open up new possibilities. For example, it could be useful for reading long articles, editing documents, or even creating content where extra vertical space makes a difference. It could also introduce new ways of multitasking. Imagine stacking multiple apps vertically in a seamless way. At the end of the day, innovation is all about trying new ideas, even if they seem unusual at first. Vivo's vertically rollable smartphone is one of those ideas. It challenges the conventional approach and makes us think differently about what a smartphone can be. Whether it becomes a real product or not, it's a reminder that the future of smartphones is still full of possibilities. Companies are still experimenting, still pushing boundaries, and still searching for the next big breakthrough. And as users, we get to watch this journey unfold, one concept at a time. So while we may not see this device in stores anytime soon, it definitely adds an exciting chapter to the story of smartphone innovation. Because sometimes the most interesting ideas aren't the ones we use today, but the ones that inspire what comes next.